But yo, Feliz Navidad, Fröhliche Weihnachten, Merry Christmas, Joya Noel, Kala Christiana, Merry Christmas. No matter how you say it, Christmas shares a similar meaning to people all around the world. The family, the gifts, the kindness, the joy. So today, we want to take you on a journey to see the Christmas story unfold in 5 unique ways. We'll be visiting people in different places and times to see how the miracle of Christmas changed their lives. Our wish is that changes yours as well. It was nearly 800 years ago when St. Francis of Assisi created the first living nativity to help explain the birth of Jesus to his followers. So for our first act, we will take an often unseen side of the traditional nativity story, behold the innkeeper's eyes.
Are you the keeper of the sin?
I am. How may I serve
We wish for lodging for the night.
you? How many are there of your party?
Oh, we're traveling alone.
I see. And you left your pack animals outside?
No pack animals, no baggage.
The very simplest accommodations will do for us. We are not wealthy.
Well, I am sorry, but I haven't been left. People have been pouring into town all day, registering to be taxed, you know.
Yes, that is what brings us from quite a distance.
Yes? Well, you will have to try somewhere else for lodging.
Is there another inn here in Bethlehem?
No, but you will doubtless find someplace. Perhaps you have friends who live near?
No, we're strangers.
Oh, too bad. Well, good evening to you, and good luck to you in finding a place. Boy! Where are you, boy?
Yes, master?
Come here, you lazy oaf. Why do you loiter in the stables when there is so much work to do?
Why, master, you told me to feed the horse of the guest who just arrived.
Ah, you took too long about it.
I'm finished now, master. What shall I do next?
Go stand outside the entrance gate. If any wayfarers come past and wish to enter, tell them there is no more room in the inn.
But, master, have you forgotten? There's still a room vacant. A fine large one. The best in your house?
Silent fool. Of course I know that. But I am not so stupid as to rent that to any common traveler for a few farthings. When if I wage now, some man of wealth is sure to come along and give me a good price for it.
Yes, master.
Go now. Stand outside the gate and note the travelers carefully. If they come on foot, or with only a pack mule, tell them there is no room. But if you see a man on horseback with a retinue of servants, send for me at once. We will have room for him.
Yes, master.
There, someone approaches now. Ah, a couple of peasants. See, he is lifting her down from the dome. Go and meet them. Tell them there is no room.
I tell you, sir, it is no use to come in here. We have no room. I told them what you said, master, but they would come in. The lady's very tired.
The lady isn't. This woman is good enough for her. Just a peasant woman.
Please, is there not some small place that you could give us for the night? My wife is too exhausted to go any further.
The boy told you there was no room. Why then must you persist in intruding? Do you expect me to move out and sleep in this mire of a courtyard in order to give you a place? Move on now, and don't annoy me further.
There is a vacant cattle stall. Perhaps we could...
Be quiet, boy. You will need that for the horses of the latecomers.
But you have no room for latecomers, so you have said.
And horses can be ticketed anywhere, master.
But these people will not wish to be lodged with the beasts.
We will be glad for even such a place.
And I will put down some fresh hay for a bed.
Very well. The price will be for the stabling of a beast, of 2 beasts.
Right this way, sir. I will make it ready for you.
See that you get back here promptly. I'm going into my supper.
baby's been born. A little boy.
A baby born? Where?
In the stable.
Oh, a wonderful thing indeed. One more added to the already too numerous population of the poor and ignorant.
But Master, this baby seems different. When I look at him, it makes me feel... Well, I can't describe it. You come and see him, Master.
I go look at a peasant child born in my stable.
I can stay in the courtyard and keep watch for travelers.
Travelers, there are none abroad tonight. Here it is past midnight, and my best room still vacant. And all my life, I've never had bad luck at this season.
It is a good night for traveling. Starlight and mild.
Yes, I never knew it to be so light at midnight.
That one star seems to hang right over the stable.
Well, what is your business here, shepherds?
Sir, can you tell us about a child born at the same time?
Yes, there has! A wonderful baby! Shall I show you?
Sit here, boy.
This must be the place. It is as they said, lying in a manger.
May we see the child?
A fine lot of shepherds you are, taking your sheep in the middle of the night to look at a baby. I manage my business day and night, and even so can scarcely make a living.
There are more important things than business.
Well, move on now and don't clutter up the courtyard.
How do you suppose they knew about the baby?
They're probably friends or relatives of the couple. They're the same class of people. I don't like having such common trash made free about the place. They give people wrong ideas about the sorts of guests I keep.
Why, Master, shepherds are very fine people. I know about
On
babies.
second thought, perhaps you had better go to the stable and keep an eye on those shepherds. See that they don't smuggle some lambs out of their cloaks on the way out.
Yes, Master. Master, there's a camel caravan at the front gate.
Horses, too. Arabian horses and servants galore. Ah, my chance has come. If only I had 3 or 4 vacant rooms. Oh, such wealth, such magnificence.
Some are stopping. They're dismounting. Shall I go out and greet them?
No, I will attend to this. You go into the stable and send those shepherds away.
Yes, Master.
A good evening to you, sir. My humble dwelling is at your disposal.
Is there a newborn babe in this place?
Newborn baby? Why, yes, there is. But newborn babe? What do they want of a newborn babe? There must be some mistake.
Where is the child?
This way, my lords. This child is no person of importance. His parents are ordinary peasants. They came here begging a place to stay only this afternoon. If I had not taken pity on them and allowed them in, the child might have been born right on the roadside. Oh no, your masters must have made a mistake.
My master is the Prince of India. The other two are Orient nobles. Their wisdom is great and infallible. They do not make mistakes.
But what do they want of the child?
There is for him a great destiny. They have read it in the stars. They wish to do him homage. They bring their kids.
All this sounds foolish to me. But then, I'm not sage, only a simple businessman. And speaking of business, these gentlemen will wish to stay here overnight, won't they?
I shall ask my master when he returns.
But surely, they would not think of starting on at this hour. Shall I have beds prepared?
I shall ask my master when he returns.
Well, my men, did you find the child for whom you were searching?
Yes.
Is he a very remarkable babe, unusual in any way?
He appears like any other child.
You see? And why did you wish to see the child? How did you hear about him?
While we watched our flocks, we were told of it.
Ah, by someone who had been here and seen him, perhaps?
Perhaps.
You see, It is just the ordinary story of a very ordinary bird. I'm afraid your masters will have to search further tomorrow.
Is it true that you have a vacant room you're in?
Yes, my lords, a fine, large room. I've held it for you at great expense and inconvenience.
Then why must this family, whom we have just left, be lodged on a bed of straw in a cattle stall?
But my lords, I did not realize. I mean, I would have gladly, a boy, one of our servants took them there. I did not know.
Innkeeper, this night you are host to a king. Your finest room, hung with the rarest of our tapestries, would have been yet a poor setting for his glory, and you entertained him in a manger.
Friends, the words of reproof are useless and worse than useless. It were better to leave this man in his ignorance. Come, let us journey on.
Masters, wait just a moment, and I will even now show homage to your king. I will prepare the room with my own hands and myself, lift him from the straw to a bed of down.
Do not disturb the child. All has taken place as it was destined to since the beginning of time.
But a king, lying in a stable.
That is of no consequence to him. Yours is the loss, not his. Had you shown kindness to these humble people last you've been lauded and revered through all the ages to the end of time. You chose otherwise.
But, my lords, I have none of your great learning. How was I to recognize royalty in such a guy?
It is not a question of learning. The shepherds knew him, and so did your errand boy. Those that have saved root for him in their hearts shall see him and know him. The rest will go blind to their graves.
You had no room for them in your heart or in your house. No room for anything but yourself. Money for yourself, comfort for yourself. Is it not true?
It is true. My heart is as empty as that vacant room.
Do not despair, innkeeper. You are thoughtless and selfish, but it is not too late for you to do this king a service yet.
What is it, my lords? Only tell me, and it shall be done.
It is this. Don't tell anyone anything of our visit. Help the parents to escape with the child in secrecy from the country. Herod is seeking him to kill him.
The shepherds are pledged to silence. If you say nothing, the child is safe.
I shall keep silence, my lords.
It is well. Let us depart.
Come here, lad.
Yes, master?
Those Oriental princes who were just here told me of the babe. Who he is. I think I should like to see him.
Oh, master, I'm so glad. Come, I will show you.
Just a minute, son. You began to tell me earlier how it made you feel to look upon this child, but I would not listen. Now I am ready to hear it.
Well, master, it's a hard thing to describe. I forget about myself, and my heart seems to swell within me. I feel that the only important thing in life is being friendly and kind.
I need that. Yes, I need to see him, but I have no gift to take him.
You need no gift, master.
But those Eastern princes carried in rich coffers.
Yes, and one was heaped with gleaming gold.
But out of their great wealth, such gifts were nothing. The real service to him was in finding him and recognizing him as king.
That is true, and we can do that also.
It will be easier for you than for me. All my life, I have assumed kings could be recognized by their fine ravens.
I will help you, master.
Good. With your help, I shall succeed. And my gift will be the empty room, the room that was too good for a cave.
How do you mean, master?
Hereafter, I will never rent that room again. It will be free each night to the one who needs it most.
He will like that gift the best of any you could make.
Come, son. Morning will soon break. Lead me to the king.
Israel, two Nazi-occupied France. It's Christmas time, 1941, in the little village of Blaise. World War II rages around them, and hope of victory had grown dim. How could the light of Christmas ever shine in such a dark place?
Madeleine? Madeleine, is that you? Yes, Belle. I have been calling and calling. Why don't you answer me? I did answer you, Bells. Would you like to come in here for a little while? It is too cold. Not by the fire, Bells. Do you expect me to walk in there by myself? Of course not, Bells. I tell you, pitiful sight in the village. There's not a single tinsel star, so it is Christmas. Not a candle in a single window. These Nazis, I could kill them on Christmas Eve, on any day. There's a draft. Madeleine, I'm telling you, I feel a draft. Windows and doors are tightly shut, Bells. It'll be warm in a moment. That door is still open. I am closing it now, Bells. If I did not watch you every minute, you would be the death of me. I think you want me to die. Oh, Bells. Ever since my brother brought you to this house 15 years ago, you have been waiting for me to die. Oh, I've known it, you and your high and mighty ways. But must we have these arguments again? In 15 years, not one word of where you came from or where my brother found you. How do I know you were even married to him? You have seen the marriage documents many times. Forgeries, all forgeries. I would have no more of these. Ha. And now you are a defiant lady again. For my brother is dead. The Nazis killed him in this terrible war. For all I know, you helped to kill him. What do you mean by that? You know well enough what I mean. I asked you a question, Bells. Answer me. You are a fifth columnist. That's what you are. You are never to say that again. You hear me? Never. I knew this day would finally come. I knew you'd hit me. I knew you'd beat me. Why is your tongue, woman? You are evil, evil. Everyone in the village knows how evil you are. I have always been a good neighbor. This is only to warn the people you have betrayed. The mayor and his family, prisoners of the Nazis. The blacksmith, a prisoner. The baker, a prisoner. And why? Because you betrayed them. Next you'll betray me. And then you'll have this fine farm all to yourself. You'll own all of it, as you've always wanted to own it. I have never told you the truth. But now I will. The farm is mine. All of it. You have lived here on my charity, and you will live here until you die on my charity, mine. That is not true. The farm was part mine. My brother told me it was. You never tire of your lying? Who is that? It is the Nazis come to take me, Madeleine. Don't be a fool. Enter Gabriel Moutier. God's blessing on you. God's blessing on your house, Madeleine Jo. And on you, Barrett. What are you doing here? My mother is ill again. The doctor says she must have milk. I've been to Nazis, Madeleine, but they say it's a dead Frenchman is a good Frenchman, I know. I've been to 3 houses in the village already. But they didn't have any milk to spare. They have children, and the Nazis have taken all that's left over. You can have ours, and welcome, Gabrielle. No, she cannot. I am a sick woman too. I must have milk. It will not hurt you to go one day without it. I won't give up my milk. I won't. I will die if I don't get it. I know I will. Oh, Madeleine, I don't want to take it. You would do the same to me. My little hen laid an egg this afternoon. I hid it away from the Nazis. I'll bring it to you for your brothers in the morning, Madeleine, as a Christmas gift. Give the egg to your mother, Gabrielle, and pretend that it's my gift to her. God's blessing on your house, Madeleine Jo. And on yours too, Gabrielle Moutier. There is a good daughter. You would give away everything in this house if I did not want you. Nonsense. Right on the floor. A visitor at the door. Nice sharp knife. That's me, sharp visitor. How are you going to eat the next few days? This milk and a bit of cereal is all you have. Cereal without milk is not bad after you get used to it. Perhaps I shall even come to like it very much. Oh, look. There goes Veronica Vidal. God's blessing on you, Veron. Yummy. Oh, dark. Soon will be out of curfew. Curfew. And after curfew, there are no Frenchmen dare walk the streets. These devil Nazis having the impudence to tell good Frenchmen when they can walk abroad. This is war, Belts. There are conquerors. In the last war, it was different. One Christmas, there are American quarters in this village. And what a laughter and singing and flowing of wine there was that night, I can tell you. Americans. Think of it, Belts. That same evening star there, and that great twilight star will be shining on America tonight, just as it's shining here. These Nazis, they take away our food, they close the doors of our church, and then they expect us to be happy because they are here. They would even tear Christmas out of our hearts if they could. Christmas. Laughter in the streets, horse whistles on the Mississippi. What's that you say? Nothing. I was just thinking, Belts, when I was a little girl, we used to have a great party, and everyone would come in fancy dress. And there was a puppet show, and dancing, and ice cream. What is that? Is ice cream? It's been 20 years since I've tasted it, and yet it's as clear in my memory as though I had just finished licking the spoon. So sweet and so creamy, so cold against the tongue. You know what I would like for Christmas, Belts? A dish of ice cream. Yes, I thought so. Selfish as always. You want something for yourself. Me, I want a miracle. A miracle? In this village place. Why not? Is this not Christmas Eve? This is the time for miracles to happen. And what kind of miracle, Belts? I want all of the Nazis driven out of France, and all the foods they have stored up put here in the center of this room for me to eat. That is what I want for Christmas. You know, Belts, when I was a little girl, an old colored man told me, if you're gonna wish, you might as well wish big. And you have certainly wished big this night, Belts. When you were a little girl, where were you a little girl? Where? That is my business. I am your sister-in-law. I deserve to know. Stop nagging me. I'm sorry, Belts. I did not mean to yell at you. What are you doing? I'm putting a candle in the window. It's Christmas Eve. You can't leave that there. The Nazis will tear our house down if we show a light in the window. The curfew bell has not run yet. I will put it out then. Who is it? Who knocks like that? Go into the bedroom. No, what is it? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's better for you not to know. It is your friends, the Nazis. Come to learn more news, more victims to arrest. I slapped you the last time you said that, Belts, and I will kill you the next. I mean it, Belts, get into the bedroom. I hear you, I hear you. I will not stay in this house with you anymore. Do as you please about that, get out! Sorry to keep you waiting. My sister-in-law's here.
Well, that is a good thing. I was afraid I wouldn't get here before the careful.
Something has happened.
Written all over me then.
You're like my husband. When something went wrong, his body was in A little spring. A little breeze would set them vibrating.
Can anyone over
One moment. There is no one hereabouts. She is cowering in her bed with the caviars over her face. She did not hear it down there.
listen to me, Madeleine? I have very little time. The radio station was located tonight.
Since heaven, was anyone caught?
Jean-Baptiste Armand.
Oh, brave young man.
But before they read a bit of news hint. The British are planning to bomb the villagers. The Nazis are beating their plane.
Good.
That's good enough. Fire must be lighted in the field to give the English a target.
You want me to light the fire, is that it?
Certainly not. You are too valuable as a post office. No one suspects you. We cannot risk losing you.
But who will do it then?
I will do it myself.
Still must be careful and
You
then...
must give me a curfew pass.
Where would I get such a thing?
I don't know, but I must have one. If this were not so important, I would risk running the curfew. But I darn our chance being arrested. You fool! What is this guy doing in your window?
It was Christmas. I was just going to leave for a little while.
And he's calling the Nazis in on us? Where are the wits? Let your land!
For once, I'm afraid I was not thinking of France, but just of Christmas.
This is no time for superstitious nonsense! I'm sorry, Madeleine. I too once lighted candles, but France is in darkness now.
I know. And it's all right, but where am I to get a curfew pass? That is the important thing. Madeleine! Madeleine! Sit here. Cover yourself with these shawls. One moment, Gabrielle. Think you a bed. Come in, Gabrielle. Is your mother worse? Oh, Madeleine. I'm so fine. She keeps calling for you. Will you come, please? Gabrielle, I can not sleep better alone. I'll stay here. No, no, no. She would be terrified without me. Oh, please, Ben, only for an hour, please.
What of the curfew?
You're a horse bear. Have you a cold? A very bad cold. You must stay away from her, Gabrielle, or you'll catch it. Oh, please, Madeleine, only for an hour, please. Francis writes, Gabrielle, how can I come back to the curfew? We can buy the old Fanny Vidal's pass. She'll let you us. Old Veronique has a pass. Are you sure? Of course, she's now cooking for that Captain Runner, the fat captain. Are you certain you can get me that pass? I think so. Right. Wait for me outside, Gabrielle. I must argue this out with Bertram. She's very peculiar, but I know how to handle her. You will, Molly. Yes, Gabrielle, I will tell you. Oh, Molly, Molly! I will, Gabrielle, no. You go get that pass now. When you get back, I will be ready. Yes, that is best.
You will have to take care of that girl when she returns.
It's a miracle, Nicole. You think that pass so easily? Good God, it's on the side of freedom-loving people. I just know it.
Get me a change of clothes. I cannot go through the streets in this outfit. They will know I am a stranger in the village and arrest me, regardless of the pass.
You'll find what you need in here, in the closet. Pay no attention to the wailing of bears. She's a fool.
Fools are dangerous.
Not this one. I know how to handle her. That must be Gabrielle now. She must have run all the way back. Come in, Gabrielle. Good evening. God's blessing upon this house. And who are you?
My friends call me Tabitha. It is not a French name, but it should not be difficult for your American tongue.
My American. Who are you? What do you want?
You know the law, that no one should be out after curfew. Listen. I had nowhere to go, and when I saw the cat
not there. It was put out.
The memory remains.
I'm sorry. You cannot stay here. Not tonight, I'm sorry.
Would you turn me out to be arrested by the Nazis? I, who have been your friend for so long,
I have never seen you before in my life.
but I've been beside you for these past 15 years in this village ablaze. When you sat 3 days and nights without sleep with the little sick daughter of the blacksmith, I kept your vigil with you. When you walked through a great storm to help Odette Fernand have her man-child, I walked with you. When you gave up your milk ration to the mother of Gabrielle Montier, I felt your hunger.
Who are you?
I told you, Madeline Royal, I am Tabitha.
Madeline Royal? I have not been called that for 20 years.
But that was your name. In New Orleans, that was your name. Or so I've been told. I didn't know you then.
New Orleans?
You must have been very beautiful in New Orleans. Men lost their heads over you, didn't they? And then the death of young Oliver Warren. Police still think you killed him, don't they? The American police?
It was an accident. He said he'd kill me if I didn't marry him. We struggled. And the gun went off.
But he was the fourth to die. The other three were suicides, weren't they?
I couldn't help it.
You might have been a little kinder to them, but you were too proud of your power over the hearts of men. New Orleans was well rid of you, Madeline Royal, when you ran to drift through every sinkhole port in the world, until at last you came to Marseille.
It is all done and forgotten.
But what of your husband, Madeline Royal? What of Henri Giraud, who found you at that cheap cafe on the Marseille waterfront? He loved you.
I made him a good wife.
You did, my dear, you did. And you've been good to your sister-in-law, Berthe. The whiny, selfish Berthe.
She's sick. She doesn't know what she says. She doesn't realize how it sounds.
You need not defend her to me. I know all about Berthe. Just as I know all about you. And all about Nicole.
Nicole. Oh, yes, Nicole.
You forgot her for a moment, huh, Madeline?
I'm sorry. When Gabrielle comes to pass, I must...
Gabrielle will not come. Gabrielle's mother has just died. Gabrielle and old Veronique are outside Gabrielle's house now. A neighbor is calling to Gabrielle to enter the house. Gabrielle moves in.
Stop it. I can't stand it anymore.
Are you afraid, Madeline? Madeline Roy was never afraid of anything except dying. Are you afraid of dying?
The curfew pass. I must get that curfew pass.
Do you think Veronique Godot, who has the pass, will stay in the house of death? Even now, she's walking down a cobbled street headed this way. A Nazi sentry is stopping her. She's telling him she's coming here. She's telling him something else.
What?
You will discover that for yourself. Now, he is stepped aside. She is coming this way.
I must get ready. I must go, Nicole.
Wait, I'm not finished.
There is no time.
I have only to raise my hand, and all time stops. Even the beating of the heart and the drawing of the breath. There is no movement anywhere else in the world, save in this room.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
Because of you, 4 men died, Madeline Royal. Are you ready to face your punishment?
Not tonight. Not now.
Yes, now.
But I have work to do. Important work. I don't ask this for myself, believe me.
Tonight, you will hold a life in your hands. What you do with that life to balance the lives of those young men. Your own destiny is in the hands of the mighty justice. See that you decide well. You are a free soul, Madeline Royal. May God have mercy on you.
May God have mercy on you. That is what the judge says, right before he pronounces the death sentence. Where are you? Where are you? Tabitha!
Stop screaming, you fool, and let's go and let Lindsay pass.
But you haven't changed your clothes. Come in. Come in, Gabrielle. And you too, Veronique, don't?
Just Veronique the dog. Not Gabrielle, my friend.
Where is Gabrielle?
Haven't you heard? It is so sad. Her mother died this evening. As we passed her house and called her in, Madeleine were ill.
No, I'm fine. Leave me alone.
Always a fine lady. You are too good for this village of Blaze, Madeleine Giraud.
You talk like that. Come to the fire and warm yourself, Veronique.
Yes. It is cold out. Cold and still. No one in the streets at all.
Not even Nazi sentries?
What do you mean by that?
Nothing. I was just asking a plain question.
I tell you I saw no one in the streets.
Then you are lying.
How dare you speak to me like that?
You saw a Nazi sentry. You spoke to him. You told him something about this house.
How do you know that?
What did you tell him? What lies were you whispering to him?
You were there in the street? You saw me?
I was not there.
Then how did you know who I was talking to?
I don't know.
I have caught you out at last, my fine lady. Do you know what the Nazis do to those who break the curtain? They stand them up against the wall and shoot them.
But you have a pass. You can go where you like.
Here it is. Look at it. The pass of Veronique Vidal. I can go anywhere I like in this village. Anywhere. While you, my fine lady, must cower at home by a little fire.
Let me hold it in my hands, Veronique.
Oh no. I have waited years for this moment. Years when I could prove to you that I was greater than you.
Why do you hate me, Veronique?
Why should I not hate you? Henri Giraud was my man. We were to be married at the church of Saint Pierre. And then what happened? He went off to Marseille and brought you back with him. You, the woman from home. The woman without a past. And here you have lived for 15 years, lording it over everybody, helping your neighbors as though you were great, lame from the hill, coming down into the village, kind to the peasants. Well, I'm tired of being a peasant. Now I was a strong one, and you are finished.
What do you mean? I am finished.
I have told the Nazis that you are a member of the underground. You can't prove that. I told them about the mayor and about the blacksmith. You know what happened to them.
You did that? You?
And now I have told them about you. I told them to give me an hour and I would prove it to them.
And how do you hope to prove such a monstrous story?
I told them that you had sent Gabrielle Mortier to borrow my pass. You meant to steal it from me, to use it to pass an underground spy through the curtain.
You mean that all the centuries know this stupid story of yours?
Oh, it isn't so stupid. The pass isn't enough. There is also a password that is changed every day.
And what gave you the idea that I would try to send a spy through on your pass?
The story came to me as in a dream.
A dream?
A dream. True dream. Of course I knows there isn't really a spy. But I'm going to burn the past, and when they come and find it gone, they will shoot me.
How clever you are, Veronique.
I have had a long time to learn how to be clever. 15 years is a long time, Madeleine.
That's not clever enough. You don't think I believe this silly story about a password, do you?
You think there is no password?
I certainly don't.
Then say Berlin is my destiny, is a Nazi who arrests me, and feel the slam of his hand across your mouth.
I don't believe you. He's telling you the truth, Madeline.
You there?
What did you say?
I said that you must hate the people at Blaze to betray you so to the Nazis.
I'm no fool. I know which side of my bread is buttered. There is no useful weakness.
Veronique, listen to me. I never realized that I had done you any harm.
It's too late now for soft speeches. I'm going to burn the past and you will die for it.
It's not just me. Belle too. What if Bette? She's never harmed you.
What do I care about Bette? What do I care about anything but one thing? And when they stand you up to shoot you, I am the one who is killing you. I'm pulling the triggers of those guns. I, Veronique Vidal. Look at this past well, Madeleine. It is your life that is burned out.
Four men dead, and now a woman, and all because of you, Madeleine Royal.
I had to do it. I had to.
Four men dead, and now a woman.
I am the struggle. What happened?
What have you done?
I killed her. I had to. She was going to burn the pass and betray me to the Nazis. And Belle too. Belle too has never done her any harm. Me. She was going to betray me, that wicked woman, and now they will kill us all. All.
Shut up, you fool. But you saved the past.
Yes. Here it is. When this engine stops you in the streets, look in the past and say, Lynn is my destiny. He'll let you through.
When they find her dead, they will execute you.
I know. But what is one woman brave to it? Against, what was it you said? 1,000 innocent people, 1,000 laughing children.
God's mercy on you, Madeleine Giraud.
How could you do such a thing? How could you do such a thing to me, your old sister-in-law?
Now, there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and alms deeds which she did. And it came to pass in those days that she was sick and died. And when they washed, they laid her in an upper chamber. And for as much as Lydda was nigh to Joppa, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there, they sent unto him 2 men, desiring him that he would not delay to come to them. Then Peter arose and went with them. When he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber, and all the widows stood by weeping and showing the coats and garments which Tabitha made while she was with them. But Peter put them all forth and kneeled down and prayed, and turning him to the body said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up, and he gave her his hand and lifted her up. And when he had called all the saints and widows, presented her alive, and it was known throughout all Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. Madeline Royal, are you ready for your punishment?
You need not tell me. I know what it will be. The Nazis will come in, find her dead body. They'll look in her packs and find the packs gone. Can't you say that? She had no hand in this. She is innocent, but the Nazis will not believe that. Please, can't you say that?
Look in the pocket of the woman who is dead.
No, I cannot touch her. I will look. Wait, here is a curfew pass. They have stopped knocking.
It is only a little pause in time. Have you forgotten, Madeline, that this is Christmas Eve? Have you forgotten that someone in this house wished for a miracle?
I wished for it. It will be.
Once in Joppa, I too died for a little while. And Peter drew me back into life. And since then, at Christmas time, I walk the little alleys of the world.
But you gave me my chance. I threw it away. I killed her.
1,000 innocent lives, 1,000 lambing children. You saved your soul, Madeleine Giraud, when you thought you had lost it.
But I killed this woman.
On Christmas Eve, dead souls should walk softly to God, just as the mother of Gabrielle Montier. But this woman, this Veronique Vidot, is not yet ready for the judgment of God. Will you say you killed her? But I say she's only been asleep. Veronique, arise.
A miracle. A miracle.
Give this woman her plaster.
Here.
Open the door, Madeleine Giraud. What have you to fear?
Many people celebrate Christmas with the tradition of Santa Claus, with his big red suit, his bag of toys, and his jolly laugh. But where did the tradition of Santa Claus come from in the first place? For our third act, we will join a young girl named Carol, an appropriate name, as she gets some rather unusual and unexpected guests for Christmas Eve.
Our Christmas cards look so pretty on the mantle, Mother. I think I'll take them down and look at them again.
That's a good idea, Carol. It's always fun to take another look at the Christmas cards, and what better time to do it than on Christmas night, after all the excitement was over. Wasn't this a nice Christmas, dear?
Oh, yes. And I do thank you and Daddy for all the wonderful gifts you got me. And Santa Claus, too. I think I'll leave this part of Santa Claus up there on the mantle. It just seems so appropriate. This St. Nicholas one is nice, too. I think I'll put him up here beside Santa Claus.
Well, that's appropriate, too. Santa Claus and St. Nicholas are sort of related, you know.
How do you mean, Mother?
I guess there wouldn't be any Santa Claus at all if it hadn't been for St. Nicholas. He started the whole thing.
He did?
Yes, dear, you can thank him for the legend of Santa Claus, for St. Nicholas was the first patron saint of Christmas. He really lived, you know, a long, long time ago.
Tell me about it, Mother.
St. Nicholas was a bishop in a place called Myra in Asia Minor. That was way back in the 4th century. Everybody loved him for he was so generous. One story tells how he took pity on the family of a poor man and threw a bag of gold into their house through an open window. That and other surprise gifts he made gave them a reputation of gift giving, which has lasted all these many years.
He must have been an awfully nice old man.
Well, he was the Christmas saint for about 1,500 years, and still is in many nations. Our Santa Claus takes its place in this country.
I wonder how he likes that. That someone else took his place on him.
Well, I suppose he could be jealous. But such a kind, understanding character as St. Nicholas surely must understand.
I wonder.
Well, while you look at your Christmas cards, I must run and finish the dishes. Your father will be here soon with a client of his to discuss that case which comes up in court tomorrow.
These Christmas cards are all so nice. But I think my favorites are St. Nicholas and I don't believe it. They look so lifelike. Almost as though they would move. They moved. You moved.
Well, of course we will. And why not? I'm very tired of being Christmas cards. My joints are getting sick.
Oh, guess I'll move about a bit myself. Oh, don't be afraid, little girl.
What is she afraid of? I hope you don't think a good old saint would hurt a little girl.
It's just that I didn't expect you to move and walk and talk.
I don't see why we shouldn't. We are both free. At least, I am. Don't you know I am the patron saint of Christmas?
So am I, Harold.
Now, that statement, I would like to have proof.
And what do you mean by that? Do you doubt my word?
Everyone who knows anything knows that I am the patron saint of Christmas. The one, the only Saint Nicholas. You are an impostor, sir.
Oh, come now, St. Nicholas. I will admit you were the first. But you ask any American child about Santa Claus. They will all vouch for me.
I still say that you are an impostor. All others who claim to be patron saints of Christmas are imposters. Frauds, and just plain fakes.
I'm sorry you have that attitude, St. Nicholas. You seem to forget that your counterparts and mine lives on in the hearts of children all over the world. In some form or another, the name may not be similar, but the spirit is the same.
I protest. Whatever the name, if it is not St. Nicholas, it is not I.
I don't want to quarrel with the state. It seems irreverent. But I wish I could prove to you, sir, that your spirit lives on in many Santa Claus characters of different nations. I wish I could show you what I mean.
I think I know what you mean, Santa Claus. My mother was explaining it to me earlier. I only wish you could prove it to St. Nicholas, so that he could understand.
I know what. I can call witnesses. I can bring my sleigh bells and summon the other Santa Clauses of the world to testify.
Oh, goody! That would be just like presenting a case in court. We could hold the trial right here, and I could be the judge, because I know a good bit about it. That is, if you and St. Nicholas would like it.
I am a man of justice. I believe in giving this man a fair hearing. When I lived on Earth, I was an important member of the Council of Nicaea. I think you are perfectly right, Phil. You may be the judge, and we shall present our case to you.
Then help me set up the court. Here, we can just put this table in the center of the room. It'll be the bench. You can bring that chair over, too. This candlestick shall be my gavel. Now, where are my witnesses?
I need no witnesses. I shall present my case alone.
Well, since the important part of my case will be to present witnesses, I will summon the other Santa Clauses.
Order in the court. I'm afraid I don't know the exact procedure. If only my daddy were here, he would make a much better judge.
Nonsense. You're doing fine, Carol. I suggest we hear from St. Nicholas first.
Okay. Order in the court. I call St. Nicholas to the chair. Present your case, St. Nicholas.
Your Honor, it seems that Santa Claus here and all these other characters are imitating my role of patron saint of Christmas. I wish to protest against this disrespectful practice. My place in the observance of Christmas goes back for many hundreds of years. These others are only imitators. They've changed my entire character. They've even changed my name.
I hope not.
Santa Claus, you must not interrupt. Order in the court. Proceed, St. Nicholas.
Take this man who calls himself Santa Claus, for example. When I was brought to the American colonies by the Dutch, he stepped in and took over with no authority from me whatsoever. Take the matter of my name. In Holland, I was Santa Nicholas. When I came to America, the children began calling me Santa Claus and Santa Claus.
What's in the name?
Order in the court. Continue.
Look how they had changed my appearance. I mean, look at him, Your Honor. Compare those furs and silly red clothes and rubber boots he is wearing with my beautiful bishop robes. I ask you, do you see any sense in such ridiculous attire? And the big sack he carries on his back?
Oh, that's because of the poem, you know, A Visit from St. Nicholas. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his toes, it says. And then later on it talks about his sack, a bundle of toys he had slung on his back.
Well, I concede it's useless to argue. I may as well give in.
Have you anything further to say, St. Nicholas?
I am too old to be standing here arguing. I have my own personal opinion, and I mean to abide by my original claim. I am the only true St. Nicholas. So there.
We shall now hear the other side of this case. I call Santa Claus to the chair.
Your Honor, I should like to present some witnesses who will prove my point.
What is your point?
Resolved. That even though the character and name may differ as interpreted by the different peoples of the many nations of the world, the spirit is the same. First, before I call my witnesses, let me say this, Your Honor. We feel no disrespect for the good saint who has just presented his case here. In fact, I believe that when we are through, he will agree with me that the spirit of St. Nicholas is preserved and glorified by the work carried on by the characters I am going to introduce.
Call your first witness.
I call my first witness, Chris Kinley.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing describe that would be to say that I am the Santa Claus of Switzerland and southern Germany. In Switzerland, I arrived in the country in my sleigh, distributing gifts to one and all. My 6 reindeer pull my sleigh through the snow-covered streets. When the children hear the tinkling of the sleigh bells, they come running to receive their gifts. You may be sure this takes lots of work to see that each one receives his own special gift. My sleigh is filled to overflowing when I start out. My work is not finished until my sleigh is empty, but I can always tell by the shouts of joy and the many thanks I receive that all the boys and girls are happy when my task is done. You say this is in Switzerland? Yes, and also in the southern part of Germany. There, I usually stop at each house. When I open the door and toss in a gift, I call out, "Jopla!" and there is a mad scramble by the children to get their gifts. This takes a great deal of time, but in northern Germany, there is another Santa Claus to take some of the work off my shoulders.
Another Santa? Who is he?
He is known as Neck Ruprecht.
Did someone call Neck Ruprecht?
Are you Nectar Ruprecht?
I am. Who else?
Then you may step down, Miss Kinley, and let this old gentleman take the chair. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Well, of course. Neck Ruprecht tells nothing but the truth.
Will you please say I do?
You do.
Seeing how you are a very old man, I shall overlook your unusual answers. Please tell the court what it is that you do.
Min Liebes King, it is not just what I do at Christmas. Throughout the entire year, I am working and planning and working. Nowhere in the world is so much made of Christmas as in Germany. It is the greatest nation in the world for toys, Germany is, and I must never disappoint a single child. I start out on Christmas Eve. My great sack is so full. It is to no wonder I look so angry. Here, I have some in my sack to show you.
Oh, that is lovely. It must be fun to be a German child at Christmas.
Your toys are not better as the ones of France, Mona.
Order in the court. Who are you?
Why, I am Papa Noel.
I can't listen to all of you at once. Order in the court.
Here, let us hear from Pierre Noel of France.
Well, just beginning.
Very well, but we must have order.
You see, much to speak of toys. No one can think the dolls as French.
Oh, that is beautiful. How I envy the little French girl who shall find that in her stocking next Christmas.
Oh, no. There's not the stocking that's on Christmas Eve as in your country. In France, the shoe is looked up and look. Yes.
Oh, that baby doll is adorable. They're all so lovely.
Papa Noel cannot simply give these away. Already they are marked as in child's aid for next year. But here is a gift from France, my chérie. It is the mistletoe. Hang it in the room and good luck will come. Now, Papa Noel must be packing his bag.
What a sweet Santa Claus. Makes me wish I lived in France. Who's next? May I please be next? Oh, yes, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Well, yes, indeed I do.
What part do you play in the Christmas of your country?
I am Bozic, little white god of Christmas in the country of Serbia. I am very dear to the people of Serbia at Christmas time. The boys and girls and their parents too think of me as the spirit of Christmas. They sing of me in their Kaleda songs, and I am sure they all love me, though they have never seen me. I must admit, Your Honor, that I am somewhat different from the usual Claus.
In what way?
I am more of a religious character. The Serbian people are deeply religious. They have many important customs connected with their Christmas, all of our reverence and mystics. These customs are very dear to the families of Serbia.
Could you take the time to tell us about just one of these customs?
One of the boys and girls are best, I think, is the custom of sitting on the floor to eat supper on Christmas Eve.
That sounds very strange. Why do they do that?
Well, the mother of the family scatters straw on the kitchen floor to represent the stable where the child Jesus was born. After the father fathers prayed for Christmas to come to all parts of the earth, the whole family settles down in the straw and eats a good Christmas Eve supper. It is only one of many of the customs observed at Christmas time.
That is a very interesting story. Thank you for coming. Santa, who's your next witness?
Let us hear from Blah Bafana.
La who? I've never heard of her.
Well, what are you waiting for? I have no time to tell. I've waited around long enough.
Do you swear to...
Never swear. So you can just skip that one. Tell me what you want to know now.
Pardon me. It seems we are taking up your precious time.
That's right, Senorita. You are. My time, it is valuable. I have to get back to work. Here, it is Christmas night, and only 364 more days until Christmas Eve.
Perhaps you could tell us why you have a bell. To begin with.
That's just what it's for.
To begin with,
I never enter a house without ringing this bell first. Then I jump down the chimney and fill up all the good girls' and boys' shoes with gifts and sweets. Want to know what the bad ones get in theirs?
What?
Ashes! That is what! Goodness!
Are the children terribly disappointed?
Well, a difference between you and me. I often have a nice toy for them, too. The ashes are just to remind them to be good. Or next year, they will get nothing but ashes.
I'm glad the children get some toys. Santa, is that everyone? Why, what have we here?
Your Honor, these witnesses have come clear across the world to speak for us.
Are they Santa Clauses? Truly?
I am Chinese, Christmas old man. Boys and girls of China look for me Christmas Eve to bring them gifts. Call me Christmas old man some places. Others call me nice old father.
I didn't know the Chinese knew about Santa Claus.
Missionaries tell Chinese people about little Jesus born in manger where cows are. Tell about Santa Claus too.
Missionaries tell Japanese people also about baby Jesus. Little Japanese girls love babies, also like dolls. They ask Oteosho for baby dolls for Christmas.
And do you give them dolls?
If they are good, I watch to see if they are good. Japanese children know that I watch them. This makes them good. Then they receive gifts at Christmas time.
Are the children frightened of you?
Mothers tell little children, if you are bad, Oteosho will see you. Never misses anything, has 2 faces. You will be good children. He will see you being good and bring you presents. So little Japanese children are very good. I bring them many gifts at Christmas time.
I guess children all over the world try to be good at Christmas time. Santa, is there any witnesses left?
Yes, Carol. I mean, Your Honor. I call Ulysses the chair.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Then please tell us what part you play in the Christmas of your country.
I am Ulysses. I'm the Santa Claus of the Scandinavian countries of Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Unlike the other Santa Clauses, I do not live in the North Pole.
You don't?
No, see, our country has a cool climate which suits me fine all year round. So I live under houses, and sometimes even under the tables and chairs in the house. I guess you might call me the most surprising of all the Santa Clauses.
How so?
I'm always causing the little boys and girls to be surprised. They call me their good little old Christmas elf. While they are sleeping, I do many chores to show me their gratitude. They leave me a dish of goodies on the table for me to eat, especially around Christmas time. That is when the mothers and the daughters are cooking delicacies of all kinds for the Christmas feast. It keeps them so busy that they claim that they'd never be ready in time for Christmas if it weren't for me.
You must be very helpful to them.
Yes, but as I say, they are very good to me too, and never forget to feed me. On Christmas Eve, when they know I shall be tired and hungry from all the work I have to do, filling up their stockings, they leave me the very best of their Christmas delicacies. Scandinavian people are very, very kind. They remember even the birds at Yuletime. A Scandinavian family never sits down to eat Christmas dinner without first feeding the birds.
That's very thoughtful of them.
I think I should like to live up in one of those northern countries, especially at Christmas time. And it's nice to know they have such a wonderful Yuletide elf to share their fun with at Christmas. Santa, would you like to summer your taste?
Yes, if it pleases your honor.
But be brief, please, for there are only 364 more days until Christmas.
Yes, Santa, you had better be brief.
Your honor, you have heard these characters tell their Christmas roles in such faraway lands as France, Italy, China, Japan, Germany, Serbia, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Some of them take the form of a jolly little man with whiskers like myself. Some are elves and some are angels. Some fill the children's stockings and others fill their shoes. But I think you will agree with me that everyone fulfills the original role of St. Nicholas, that of a generous gift giver. And all are in existence for the sole purpose of keeping alive the spirit of St. Nicholas, the patron saint of Christmas. Hurrah! 3 cheers for St. Nicholas! I think we can all agree that St. Nicholas is the originator of all true Santa Claus characters around the world. We all honor and love him. Good old St. Nick!
St. Nicholas, have you anything you would like to say before we dismiss the court?
Only this, Your Honor. I wish to say that I feel very much ashamed. And I also want to say that what I have seen here tonight has more than convinced me that these Santa Clauses here, no, these others from other parts of the world, are my friends. They have kept my legend alive throughout the centuries. I thank you, my friend. You, Santa Claus, my greatest saint on
Do you know that sound, my friends?
Yeah, what is it?
They are ringing the Christmas bells. The Christmas workers from all around the world are calling for their Santa Clauses to come back. After all, it's only...
364 more days till Christmas!
Well, now that the court is dismissed, I must put this room back to its rights. Daddy will be bringing company in. I'll just put this table back in its spot and put my candlestick back. There, that looks better.
Carol, where are you?
I'm in the living room, Mother, where I've been all along.
I thought I heard the men's voices. Has your father come home?
Oh no, that was the Santa Clauses you heard. My goodness, they've gone.
Who's gone?
Santa Claus and St. Nicholas. They were here just a moment ago.
Perhaps you dropped them, dear. Ah, look. Here they are, right where you must have dropped them. Look, Carol, see? The Santa Claus card, and here's the St. Nicholas one.
These are just cards.
Just cards. You talk as though they have to be something else.
Yes, I thought they were. Perhaps it was all a dream. I wonder if any of it was real.
Did you fall asleep, dear? Well, that's nice. I wonder where this piece of mistletoe came from. You know how I looked and looked for mistletoe for Christmas and could not find a single piece?
Mistletoe? Oh, Mother!
Carol, just look at this floor. Where in the world did all these ashes come from?
Ashes? Oh, Mother!
Yes, ashes, and your father and his guests will be here any moment. I'll run in and fetch a sweeper. But for the very life of me, I cannot imagine where they came from.
Mother! Those ashes came all the way from Italy and the mistletoe from France!
Carol, I do declare, sometimes I think you've been possessed by the elves.
Yes, Mother!
children for over 100 years. Many of us, male or female, can see ourselves in Meg, Joe, Beth, or Amy March. So for our fourth act, we'll join the March family at Christmas time in Concord, Massachusetts, during the American Civil War.
This is A Christmas Story, from a book that all the world knows and loves. It is about the lives of 4 young girls, and the name of it is Little Women. Our story begins on the day before Christmas in the year 1862. A heavy snow falls quietly, cloaking the little town of Concord, Massachusetts with an extra layer of whiteness. Set back from the road to Lexington stands the March family house. In the comfortable old parlor are 4 young ladies. Sitting by the fire is Tomboy Joe.
Christmas won't be Christmas without any presents.
Meg, the eldest and the prettiest, looks up from her old dress.
It's so dreadful to be poor.
And Amy, the youngest, looks up from her knitting.
I don't think it's fair for some girls to have plenty of pretty things and other girls nothing at all.
To this, Beth, the quiet one, adds her comment.
Never mind. We have father and mother and each other.
The open fire crackles brightly. In the hallway, the old clock laboriously ticks away 2 minutes. Finally, Meg speaks.
The reason Mother suggested no presents this Christmas was because it's going to be a hard winter for everyone. She thinks we shouldn't spend money for pleasure when our men are suffering so in the army.
We each have $1, and the army will be much helped by our giving that. I'm not expecting any presents, but there is a book I'd like so much. What would you like to spend yours on, Beth?
I'd like some new music.
I would like a new box of drawing pencils.
Mother didn't say anything about our money, and I'm sure she doesn't wish us to give up everything.
What do you mean, Joe?
I say we should each buy what we want and have a little fun. I'm sure we work hard enough to earn it.
I know, I do. Teaching those tiresome children nearly all day.
You shouldn't complain, Meg. How would it be shut up for hours, reading to and waiting on a fussy old lady?
I hate dishes and housework. They make me cross.
Suppose you had to go to school with picnic girls who laugh at your dresses and label your father if he isn't rich.
If you mean libel, say so. And don't talk about labels on the papa or a pickle bottle.
Don't peck at one another. We have enough worries.
Christopher Columbus, we're only making fun of ourselves.
Joe, don't use such slang expressions. It's not ladylike.
I hate to think I have to grow up to be Miss March and wear long gowns and prim expressions. If I were a boy, I could be in the army with Papa. Instead, I'd stay on the net like a fogey old woman.
Joe, you're too wild. And Amy, you're too prim.
And what am I?
You're a dear, Beth. Enough talk now. Mother will be home in an hour. Amy, you get your slippers. Joe, light the lamp. Army's slippers are quite boring.
She should have a new pair.
I should buy her a pair with my $1.
No, Beth, I'm gonna buy them.
I'm the man of the family now that Papa's away, and I shall provide the slippers.
And I shall give her.
What will I give her?
Why don't we each buy her something she needs most? We'll put the gifts on the table and bring her to see them tomorrow morning.
We've forgotten one thing.
What's that, Meg?
Tomorrow is Christmas, and we haven't bought a thing.
But we've just made up our minds to go and buy presents for Marty.
And now it's too late.
Indeed it's not. I have the solution. We'll put on our wraps, hurry to Mr. Kimball's store, buy our presents, and hurry home before Martin arrives. On your feet, everyone. Off we fly.
The girls were quickly out of the house. They reached Mr. Kimball's store just as he was closing for the day.
Well, well, the March girls. What a lovely surprise.
You caught me just in time. I was about to close up shop.
You can't until you bought our gifts, Mr. Kimball.
We're in a dreadful hurry,
I'd like to buy a pair of slippers for my mother.
and I'd like to buy her 2 linen handkerchiefs.
I'd like a bottle of cologne, a specially elegant bottle.
And have you a warm pair of gloves, Mr. Kimball?
And what if I told you I didn't have these articles?
Then we take our trade elsewhere.
Well, I can't allow that to happen. Not in my store. Step right this way, young ladies.
The girls quickly made their purchases and were home before their mother returned. As the clock struck 7, the March family had just finished their dinner.
Will you and the girls be wanting anything else, Mrs. March?
Thank you. No, Hannah. We've eaten all we should.
Besides, I'm sure there's nothing else left to eat.
Here, enough of that. Hannah, as the man of the house, I give you permission to clear the table.
I won't be needing permission for that, Miss Doe. It's a duty I have staring me in the face every night.
If you girls will sit with me here in the parlor, I have a surprise for you.
What is it, Marmee?
Is it something we'll like?
Don't spoil it by asking a question.
Marmee, you sit here by the fire.
Thank you. Now, where were we?
Don't tease us.
Here's your surprise.
A letter.
From your father.
Hurrah!
Nothing wrong, I hope.
He's quite well.
What does he say?
I'll read you the part he wrote especially for you girls. As for my dear girls, give them all my love and a kiss. Tell them I think of them by day, pray for them by night, and find my best comfort in their affection at all times. A year seems very long to wait before I see them, but remind them that while we wait, we may all work, so that these hard days need not be wasted. I know they will remember all I said to them, and I know they will conquer themselves so beautifully that when I come back to them, I may be fonder and prouder than ever of my little women.
I am a selfish girl, but I'll try to be better.
We all will. I'm vain of my looks, and I hate to work hard. But won't anymore, if I can help it.
I'm sure you mean that, Meg.
Poor Papa, spending Christmas all alone in an army camp.
Never mind. Next Christmas, he'll be here with us by the fire.
Do you remember how you used to play Pilgrim's Progress when you were little girls?
Indeed we do.
You used to tie bags on our backs for burden, and use hats and sticks and rolls of paper.
You traveled through the house from the cellar.
The cellar was the city of destruction.
And up you go to the housetop to what you said was the celestial city.
What fun it was, especially passing to the valley where the hobgoblins were.
I don't remember much about it, except that I was afraid of the cellar and the dark entry.
If I weren't too old for such things, I'd rather like to play it all over again.
We're never too old for this, Meg, because it's a game we're playing all the time in one way or the other. The longing for happiness and goodness is the guide that leads us through many trials and mistakes to the peace which is the true celestial city.
You mean it's life itself?
Yes, Joe. So suppose you see how far you can go before your father comes home.
Where are our bundles?
Each of you has your burden, except maybe Beth.
I have my burden. Mine is dishes and dusters and envying girls with nice pianos and being afraid of people.
What a peculiar burden you carry.
Let's do it. It is only another name for trying to be good.
We were in the Slough Despair night, as it says in the book, and Mother came and pulled us out.
But, like the characters in the book, we'll need a roll of directions.
Maybe on Christmas morning you'll receive your guidebooks. Now, don't ask any questions. It's going to be a quiet Christmas, what with no stockings hung from the mantle and no presents.
Perhaps it won't be so quiet after all.
What do you mean by that, Amy?
Nothing at all, Marmee.
Hannah says the four of you went out just before I came home. I hope you haven't been up to any mischief.
No, Marmee. It was to perform an errand. We'd almost forgotten.
It may be a none too bright Christmas Eve, but at least we're warm and quite happy. Happy enough to sing. Beth, do you feel like playing?
Yeah. I'll sing soprano. No, you sing the alto part.
And so, they all joined in the singing of Christmas carols until it was time to go to bed. Their Christmas Eve slumbers were filled with pleasant dreams and the anticipation of the happiness and joy of Christmas.
Sleepy. Still gray out. It's Christmas morning. Hey, wake up, wake up.
Leave me alone.
Merry Christmas, you sleepyhead.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Joe. Look what's under my pillow. A book.
There's one under mine as well.
Mine's a Bible.
So is mine.
Look inside of yours. What does it say?
To Joe. Here's a true guidebook for any pilgrim traveling the long journey. Love, Marmee.
Mine says the same thing.
Marmee gave us a present after all.
And she has so little money.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Did you two get Bibles? Beth and I did.
Yes, we did.
Let's look downstairs and see if Mother is there. I'm anxious to see her face when she discovers what we've done.
Meanwhile, Mrs. March and Hannah are looking out at the new fallen snow.
It's a fine, bright day out, Hannah. A real Christmas.
That is. Would you like to see what the girls gave me?
A box of sweets. How thoughtful of them.
Indeed it was. I'm so happy I could have myself a good cry. But I won't. Mrs. March, have you looked at the bottle?
No, Hannah.
Then do so at once.
As Mrs. March goes to look at the mantle, there is a knock at the door.
Now what could that be on Christmas morning?
I'll get it. Merry Christmas to you, little man.
My mother is no.
Thank you. Won't you come in?
No, Mrs. March, I have to go right home.
Is it anything bad, Mrs. March?
Yes, it is. The poor dears. Hannah, is breakfast on?
I'm just about to cook it, Mrs. March.
Well, don't.
What's that, ma'am?
Grab a large basket and load it with firewood. Hurry, Hannah.
Just as you say, Mrs. March.
Just then, the four girls came running downstairs.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Thank you for our Bibles.
It was a wonderful surprise.
I'll always keep mine. Same with me. I'm starved. Are we having muffins?
And buckwheats with maple syrup?
That depends upon all of you.
On us?
What do you mean, Marmee?
A note was just delivered to me. It's from the widow who lives down the road. The one with 6 children.
Her husband died in the war, didn't he?
The same ones. They have no wood to burn and nothing to eat. Will you give them your breakfast as a Christmas present?
Christopher Columbus. It won't hurt to have breakfast for once in our lives.
Of course we will.
May we go with you?
We can help you carry things.
I knew you wouldn't refuse. We'll make it up at dinner time. When we come back, we'll have bread and milk for breakfast, and that will tide us over.
And so, they filled a large basket with food and firewood for the poor family and set out for their house.
This is the house, isn't it, Marmee?
Yes, Meg.
Not a bit of smoke coming from it. And it's so bitter cold out.
And to think last night you were complaining.
Mrs. March had to knock several times before the door was opened, and the widow greeted her Christmas morning visitors.
Merry Christmas. We hurried as fast as we could. May we come in?
Good angels ever need an invitation? We certainly are peculiar-looking angels, dressed in hoods and mittens. You're welcome, just the same.
Mrs. March cooked a fine Christmas breakfast for the poor family, and the girls helped serve them. How thankful the widow and her children were. The March family returned home tired but filled with the spirit of Christmas.
Well, that could have been a far worse breakfast.
Bread and milk for breakfast is good enough for anyone.
Marty, did you ever see such expressions as those poor children had when you served them those buckwheats and syrup?
The poor dears. I doubt they had ever had such a fine breakfast.
How they ate those muffins.
It's just as well you can have, Amy. You're getting too fat.
I am not! Joe, I thought you were carrying a burden.
I am, Marty. Amy, I apologize.
I'm trying to think. It seems to me that just as that boy delivered the note, Hannah asked me to do something. Now, what was it she said? Something about the mantle, looking on the
floor?
No, on the
ceiling.
I remember. She said for me to look on the mantle. Why, I don't know. What is this? 4 presents.
Don't stare at us. Santa Claus must have left them.
What could they be? Open them, Marty.
This first one. A pair of gloves. Such warm ones, too. Thank you, Meg.
I hope they fit.
I'll try them on. They fit perfectly. And this one here. A pair of linen handkerchiefs, which I needed so badly. Thank you, Pat.
I had them last night.
Now, what could this one be?
It's a bottle of real cologne.
Amy, you spoiled the surprise.
Not really. Thank you, Amy. I'll wear some on Dad's handkerchiefs. And this last one. Slippers! Aren't they wonderful, Joe?
Try them on.
They're a bit large, Joe.
Jingo, I'll say they are. You can wear them right over your shoes. I'll change them for you, Marmy.
The sentiment is there just the same. I feel I'm a very lucky mother. I have my family around me. Yesterday, I had a letter from your father. This morning, we helped our neighbor, and ahead of us...
Ahead of us is practically the whole day.
For dinner, we have a fine, plump pair of chickens.
And tonight, make you announce the news to Mother.
Tonight will be the first performance of a new play
In 4 acts.
titled The Operatic Tragedy, written by Miss Josephine March.
Have you written another play, Joe?
My greatest effort to date. I shall now do part of scene for you.
You spoil it.
Go on, Joe.
This occurs in the 2nd act.
The 3rd act.
No, the 2nd. I changed it. The heroine, that's Amy, is being kidnapped by the villain. She screams, Rodrigo, Rodrigo, save me! Ah!
Who screamed? What's the matter?
You are a knave.
Now, what's the matter, Miss Joe?
You are a knave. Stand or I shall shoot you. Aha, now I have you, rogue. Now you shall perish.
But I haven't done anything wrong.
Ah, but you have. You are wicked, bad, ill-fated. I arrest you in the name of the law.
The excitement of Christmas has gone to your head, Miss Joe. I'm going back to my quiet kitchen.
Hannah hastily back to the kitchen, and soon after, there was a loud crash.
Now look what you've done. You and your foolish theatrics, Miss Joe. I've just crashed into the 2nd bestseller China worm.
The kitchen mishap was soon forgotten, and the March family enjoyed a wonderful Christmas dinner together. After dinner, the girls performed Joe's play, much to the enjoyment of their mother and Hannah.
And so, my children, I give you my blessing. May your lives be happy from this point onward. I clasp your hands.
We owe our lives to you, Don Pedro.
And so the curtain falls, signifying the end of the play.
A fine performance. Well written and well acted.
Indeed it was. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Someday, Joe, you'll be a famous writer. Now, Hannah, do you suppose these hungry performers could be rewarded?
I should like something exotic.
No, let's have something to eat.
I'm ashamed to say so, but I am hungry.
And we did have such a fine dinner.
There must be some old chicken bones we can gnaw on.
Just then, there was an insistent rapping on the door.
I'll get it, Mom.
Well, woman, open the door wide enough so I can get in. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Lawrence. Merry Christmas.
Same to you. What about your girls? Haven't they any tongues? Can't they wish me a Merry Christmas too?
Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
You woman, what's your name?
Hannah, sir.
Well, take these bundles. Put them on the table.
Aren't you making a mistake, Mr. Lawrence? We weren't expecting anything.
I suppose not, but here they are. Hannah here told my cook about your breakfast party.
Breakfast party?
Don't deny it. I heard all about how you gave your breakfast away to the poor family down the road. I thought I should do something to make it up, and I have. Well, good night and Merry Christmas.
He's a regular Nor'wester, I'd say.
Marty, what do you suppose is in those packages?
I don't know.
Mr. Lawrence has never before been in our home.
He's awfully proud, and he never speaks to anyone.
Well, you may as well open them.
I suppose we may.
They excitedly opened the many packages the surprise visitor had brought them, and they were delighted by the contents.
Ice cream, 2 kinds, pink and white.
Real French bonbons and cake.
Fruit, so many kinds.
What's in this other long package?
Roses are so pretty.
Christopher Columbus. And we always thought old Mr. Lawrence was so proud.
He is an odd old gentleman. He knew my father years ago.
He doesn't let his grandson mix with anyone.
Well, from now on, we'll make sure that his grandson gets to know us. And old Mr. Lawrence, too, for that matter.
It goes to show you can't judge people by their exterior. Tomorrow we'll write a note of thanks to Mr. Lawrence, and we'll all sign it.
Here, here.
I'll deliberate. Well, we better start before the ice cream melts.
I just want pink.
I'll eat either time.
Hannah, bring some plates and spoons from the kitchen.
Right away, Mrs. March.
Oh, and Hannah,
Yes, ma'am?
bring a spoon and plate for yourself.
I will. Thank you.
And get some vases for these flowers. Christopher Columbus, hasn't this just been the best Christmas anyone could have asked for? Well, hasn't it?
Yes.
It was a fitting end to the perfect Christmas day. Tired from their various holiday activities, the 4 happy girls went off to bed.
Well, Hannah, I'll go and see if my girls are tucked in. It's been a busy day for you, hasn't it?
A busy day for all of us, Mom.
But a fine day, Hannah.
Just about the best day we could have wished for.
We helped our neighbor, and our neighbor helped us. Yes, the spirit of Christmas has lived here all day, and I hope it will for many years to come. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
is all too easy to forget why we celebrate Christmas in the first place. We can become too focused on the food, the activities, or the gifts. Or we can become so jaded with the over-commercialization of Christmas that we mock the sacred instead of letting it transform us. So for our fifth act, we will join the stock characters of the Commedia dell'arte theater troupe, trying to decide which play to put on for their Christmas audience. Now they see Christmas as the time of the prophet, not the Prince of Peace. But just as Jesus came in an unexpected way to Bethlehem, he may show up in an unexpected way here as well.
Bro, are you asleep?
Yes,
You're not either.
I thought I was. What are you doing?
I'm sewing.
Sewing what?
I shan't tell you. It's a Christmas gift.
For me?
Well, of all the conceited people, why should it be for you?
Why shouldn't it be?
Because you don't deserve anything. You're too critical. You make fun of everything.
That's because everything's funny, my dear. Especially Christmas gifts. I know what you're making. Making a handkerchief with a pink rose embroidered in the corner for someone to blow their nose on. Could anything be funnier than that?
Now I shan't give you anything.
Fine then.
I'll give it to Harlequin.
Go ahead. His nose needs blowing.
Are we going to have a rehearsal tonight or not? Where are the others anyway?
They've probably all gone to church. Harlequin's sentimental, Pantaloon's afraid of dying, and Scaramouche likes music. Therefore, they've all gone to church. Let them go to church. It's Christmas Eve. Plus, it is a very large and handsome church.
But tomorrow night, everyone will come here to see us act. We always do business Christmas night.
That's the best thing about the church. It drives people to the theater for a relief.
We haven't got a play ready. Whatever are we going to act?
Something appropriate, as usual.
We ought to be able to think up something good about Christmas. Something original.
My dear, that's just what people have been trying to do for centuries, without any luck whatsoever. You may as well stick to the usual. It's simpler, and it goes just as well.
I know. Let's you and I do a turn, all by ourselves. Will you?
It's not too strenuous. It's pie for dinner.
We'll get ready before the others come and surprise them.
Surprise ourselves, you mean?
I know a fine theme. You and I are young intellectuals. Hush! We are young intellectuals, and we are terribly bored.
Why be so realistic?
We are sitting in our little apartment, quarreling.
How easy.
And going on about how stupid Christmas is, and the world is an awful place anyway.
Call mine. You read my mind.
When suddenly we discover that each of us has made a great sacrifice for the sake of the other, and our hearts are so touched that we forget our pettiness and promise never to be mean or quarrel again. We have caught the Christmas spirit after all, and are as human as anyone else.
My dear, you have the mind of a shop girl. Has your association with me done anything to improve your intellect? There are times that I would with pleasure box your little ears in. You know how moralizing disgusts me. It makes me ill. I have goose flesh. Itching now.
Say what you like. I know it pleases the public. Now, move over and we will start rehearsing. We have no time for your superior airs, Perot. Are you ready?
I suppose so.
All right, I'll begin. Oh dear, Christmas Eve is so boring. Is it not?
It is.
And such a silly custom. One wonders indeed that in an age of civilization such as this, we should be expected to submit to the observance of an antiquated, superstitious holiday.
Absurd.
Where everyone is emancipated as we, Christmas would disappear into bloodletting. Truly, there is no consistency in human progress.
None at all.
Stop answering me in monosyllables. Do you expect me to do a talking in the play? For heaven's sake, take a little interest in your part.
It was your idea. I expect you to develop it.
You pig. You're too lazy for words.
For long words, yes. But remember, some very great lines have been written in monosyllable. Think of to be or not to be. Could you think of shorter words than those?
As usual, you're quite willing to quibble, but not to tend to business.
Fine then, I'll pick up the plot. The time we discover the mutual sacrifice.
I think so. You refuse to develop the opening scene.
Alright. What is it we have sacrificed ourselves for?
For each other.
Naturally. But how?
Oh, let me see. I know just the thing. I read it in a story once. You have a beautiful gold watch, and you need a chain to go with it. I have beautiful hair, golden hair, and I need a comb to wear in it. Unknown to me, you pawn off your watch to buy me a lovely comb. And unknown to you, I cut off and sell my hair to buy you a beautiful watch chain. Imagine our surprise and our chagrin on Christmas Eve when we discover that each gift is in vain because of each other's sacrifice.
How tragic.
But not really tragic, because not really in vain. We have lost the watch and the tresses, but we have gained back our love for each other and our faith in life.
Really?
Yes. Isn't it a nice story? So simple, so human.
Exactly. A nice story. For simple humans.
Is that what we want for tomorrow night? Come now, let's rehearse. I'll begin by asking you what time it is, and this will embarrass you because you have pawned off your watch. Hero, what time is it?
It's 9 o'clock.
Harlequin, you frightened me.
Lux, did I? But I only answered your question.
We were rehearsing.
An act for tomorrow night's holiday show.
Without me? Well, of all the nerve!
What conceit! You have my part, Harlequin. It is an idiotic part, but it suits you perfectly. You give me the lines, Columbine.
I will do nothing of the kind. It's your part, Peril, and if you won't do it, we'll give up the play.
Fine then, give it up. I never liked it anyway. Lots of soft stuff. What was it about, Columbine?
I won't tell you. It was a sweet little play, for just Peril and me.
You mean to say you wish to freeze me out?
Of course not, silly, but we can't all three act in that one. We'll think of another.
Oh, all right. But you know I don't insist on Perot being in it.
That's kind of you.
We'll have a good old-fashioned triangle play with a Christmas touch.
Sure, that's the stuff. It'll be easy. And I can turn some cartwheels for the kiddies.
Once an acrobat, always an acrobat.
Don't get fresh with me, little boy. I'll leave a footprint on your nice white pants.
So shall both of you. Let's get down to work. Harlequin, go over there and sit down.
I've been sitting down all evening.
In the musty old church.
Well, yes. It was quite lively, really. You'd be surprised.
I'm never surprised.
They had a wonderful Christmas tree, games, and things to eat. No sermon at all.
How modern.
And they even asked me to do a turn.
Which, of course, you modestly refused to do.
Which I did with pleasure. For the kiddies.
That was very sweet of you, Harlequin. You are really generous.
Well, I never believe in highbrow in the public. Don't we live off them?
Not very well.
Now then, let's play the play. We are all quarreling, especially you and Perot. You see, we have forgotten the Christmas spirit, which is to love one another and to sacrifice for one another. And we can't have a play without sacrifice at Christmas time.
Of course not. Well, I'm ready. What's my sacrifice?
Let me see. You're both in love with me.
What an innovation.
And things have got to such a state that one of you must give for my happiness.
All right. Which of us gives you up?
You see, that's where the surprise twist comes. Both of you decide, at the same time, to make this sacrifice.
What?
Why? Don't you think that's clever?
And then what happens?
Well, I don't know. We can decide that later.
All that happens is that Columbine decides that she is well rid of us both. Becomes a very merry widow.
What? The audience will never take that. It isn't a happy ending.
It's happy enough for Columbine. She's the heroine.
But it isn't happy for me, and I'm the hero.
Of course. Therefore, I suggest that you change your mind and come back and claim her as your own true love. That leaves me free to do as I please. And everyone's happy.
How nonsensical! I shan't stand for such a thing. You wander off into the night, Perot, and leave me here with Harlequin as my only amusement? I wouldn't think of such a thing.
Fine. I'll come back too. And we will start all over again.
No. There's nothing original about that. We always end where we begin.
But we can show that we have changed spiritually.
Again, please.
We have revealed ourselves to each other. Both you and Harlequin will have made the gesture of sacrifice.
A very slight gesture, I should say.
And will therefore look upon each other with new eyes. That will be the Christmas touch in the play.
All right for Pierrot and me, but what about you, Columbine? Where does your change of heart come in?
Don't you see? My love for you both is purified by your sacrifice. I come to understand the unselfishness of your devotion, and that, in turn, has its effect on me.
I see what you mean, Columbine. It is a good idea. In fact, it's great. We'll use it.
But where do your cocktails come in? I suppose you'll sacrifice yourself head over heels.
Shut up. Shall we start rehearsing?
Let's. Harold, get up.
I won't.
But you must. We're ready to rehearse.
I know it.
But you're in the act at the start.
But you know, I can quarrel as well lying down as standing up. There, in fact.
Oh, let him lie. The good for nothing. Come on, Harlequin. We'll begin.
Do you think we should have a prologue spoken before the curtain? It helps the audience understand the play.
Spoken by Monsieur Harlequin. Such an egotist.
Yes, don't you think prologues are just a wee bit out of style? Let's be more realistic. Do you mind?
Oh, I don't care. Personally, I always like the prologue, but I don't insist.
Please don't.
We'll open with the quarrel.
I'll be walking the floor angrily.
And I shall follow you, up and down pleading.
What energy.
Here we go now. It's no use, Columbine. I can't bear it another minute. You have toyed with my heart, with Perot's as well. It is intolerable. I shall do something desperate.
I beg of you, Harlequin, be reasonable. I love you.
You love
Hey, well, of course I do. But I love Perot as well.
Don't curse it!
Columbine, here I lie, prostrate, the victim of an ill-starred love. Look at me and weep. Was ever a sorrier sight?
I shall go and drown myself.
A good idea.
Oscar, listen to me. I am the one who suffers. You know how I suffer. And you know how I suffer. What shall we do? What shall we do?
I don't know, but I'm sure something ought to be done.
So you have opinion.
You interrupted the scene. So I see. And what was the scene? May I ask?
A very touching improvisation on the old theme, Papa. Its pathos would melt your whiskers.
It was Columbine's idea for a Christmas show. Very clever, too.
No doubt. All right. I'm ready to hear
my part in it. What's so funny?
Well, you see, Papa, we didn't know where you were, so...
Yes, you see, I couldn't count on you, so I didn't think of the part for you.
Out of sight, out of mind, eh? Very well, if you don't want me.
Don't be absurd. Of course we want you. We'll think of a part for you.
You can sacrifice yourself too.
But it will change everything. I think perhaps we'd better get a new plot.
Oh, dear.
Thank heaven.
Come here, Papa, and sit down. Help us think. But remember, it must be a Christmas theme.
Christmas, eh? That's easy. I know 1,000 plots for Christmas. What about the wicked landlord theme?
What's that, Papa? Tell us.
I'm the wicked landlord. Naturally, Columbine here is a ballet dancer who hasn't a penny in the world and can't pay rent, which falls due on Christmas Eve.
Unfortunate coincidence.
I come to collect rent, and I threaten to flow out into the street.
And it is snowing.
Very heavily. Columbine is in great distress, but then her two admirers appear.
Me and me.
Neither of them have any money either.
True.
Too true.
So, very gallantly, they offer the landlord the only things they possess.
Their honor.
Oh no! The clothes.
Oh,
Good heavens!
Was the offer accepted?
It is.
But the audience be shocked.
No. They retire to adjoining room to show. They throw the clothes out to the landlord, who makes a bundle of them and rolls it in his cloak. And Harley Quinn comes out, wrapped in a bed sheet, and asks for a receipt. The landlord makes one out, and while he's thus engaged, Perot slips from the inner room, wrapped in a coverlet and carrying a large pillow. Behind the landlord's back, he quickly substitutes the pillow for his and Harley Quinn's clothes, and slips out of it, carrying the clothes with him. Harley Quinn takes her seat, the landlord picks up his bundle, wishes them a Merry Christmas, and goes out. Perot comes onto the scene, carrying the clothes, and all three laugh happily as the Christmas chimes ring out.
Very pretty. I hope, though, that I don't catch a cold running around in the sheet.
I think they ought to manage to get some money out of the landlord, too, so they can order a goose and a bottle of wine.
An excellent idea. Can you add that, Papa?
I'll try. Those not necessary.
Then just the bottle of wine. Without the goose. Goose is greasy.
We'll keep that in mind as we rehearse. Now, shall we begin?
Yes, let's hurry. Perot, get up. You can't lie there during the scene. You're supposed to be off stage.
Oh, where's your imagination?
Get off stage. And you too, Harley Quinn. And you, Papa. I'm alone. Ready? I'm beginning. Don't forget to come on time. First Papa, then Perot and Harley Quinn. Oh, dear. Whatever shall I do? I haven't a cent, and the landlord is coming to collect the rent due on my room tonight. And it's such a cold night. He'll throw me out into the snow. I know he will. I'll freeze to death in the streets. And on Christmas Eve, is there no kindness in this world? No pity? Very little, my We're rehearsing for tomorrow night's Christmas act.
Scarecrows! You are interfering.
I thought you were still at the church singing hymns.
I was more welcome there than I seem to be here.
Now we will have to start all over again.
For the last time, I assure you, I'm inexpressibly sleepy.
It isn't 9:30 yet. The evening hasn't begun. Come on, let's do something exciting.
Scaramouche, we have started rehearsal 3 times, each with a different plot. And now we have to think of a part for you?
Well, of course you do. You didn't think I would be left out of a Christmas play now, do you? Not a chance. And you can't have a Christmas play without music. How silly would that be?
I'm afraid I shall have to lie down.
Don't you dare! You stand your feet until this business is settled.
Could we work Scaramouche into the landlord plot?
No use. It's only designed for 4 actors.
She could be the Christmas chimes at the end.
Me? Be the chimes? Thank you, but I'm not a bell ringer.
Very well. Now for you to chime to please me.
Suppose you suggest the plot, Scaramouche. We're all worn out.
Yes, please do. But first, is there any chance of any others joining us? We simply can't go on changing plots forever.
No. We're all here now. Mesolatan, Scapino, Wakela, and the rest have gone in country for the holidays. Only we 5 are left in town. So, it's entirely up to us.
Good. A play for 5 actors. What do you think?
Appropriate to the season, remember?
Sacrifice.
Don't forget sacrifice.
With a happy ending.
How about a real folk play? A piece of old-fashioned mumming with black masks, a sword dance, Father Christmas, Maid Marian, the Turkish Knight, Beelzebub, and the Noble Doctor.
Oh, that sounds splendid. I love to be Marian.
And I'll be Father Christmas. I have a white beard in my dressing room, and I can turn cartwheels.
I'm the noble doctor, I presume. I know the Latin phrases.
Of course, we want lots of abracadabra. I'll play Beelzebub and sing some ditties.
Now that you've held yourself to the fact parts, I suppose the Turkish knight is left for me.
Why not? You like baggy trousers.
Yes, but that is no sign that I like to be hit over the head and left for dead somewhere.
But you need a St. George. You can't do a Christmas play without St. George.
No matter. One of us can double.
I'll tell you. Father Christmas doesn't enter till the end. Besides, I know the sword dance business. I wear bells around my ankles, and I kill the Turkish knight. I love to roll a Perot.
Oh, this is going to be so fun. Scaramouche, you're a genius to think of it.
I must practice my Hocus Pocus Latin and my Pigeon Greek. It's a good comedy fun, but no doctor. I must go get some used pills too.
Oh yes, like billiard balls.
Who swallows those?
Well, you do, of course. After you're killed, they bring you back to life.
Good grief. I knew it. Well, I won't swallow your pills if they're as big as billiard balls. I once knew a man, put 2 in his mouth just to win a bet. They had to pull his teeth to save his life.
Well, he won his bet.
I tell you, I won't swallow your pills. I'll slip them down the outside of my neck. That'll do.
Will you stop worrying about the details, Crow? Let's run through it. What say you?
Yes, let's hurry.
Beelzebub, that's me, should speak a prologue.
I knew we'd get around to a prologue.
You're right. It belongs in the tradition.
Very well. I don't mind, as long as Harlequin doesn't speak it.
I think I should, but I'll let Scaramouche do it this time.
You ready? Stand back till I finish. Gentles, for gentle you must be, else you would not be here, our play to see. see. We supplicate your goodness to believe that what your subtle senses shall perceive upon this stage, this happy Christmas night, was fabricated for your sole delight by those who in the action take part, and who, as always, carry close at heart your happiness, as oft of old, as many and many a merry tale have told. We come with proper mummery to prove that Christmas is a synonym for love, and wherever Christian souls unite, virtue attains undisputed right. Think not, however, that our holiday is wholly solemn. All that is most gay is welcome. Laughter, feasting, dance, and song, till tapers shorten and the hours grow long. We'll leave this house to be a manor hall, with spacious corridors and pillars tall. You, the lords and ladies of the house, we, peasant mummers on carouse, the sole reward we seek, besides your praise, mince pie, a pint of ale, a pint of ale, and some... Hey! What is it? Wait for me.
Imagine it, a foundling, and on Christmas Eve.
Left freezing snow. The stage door is no place to leave a baby.
Not at all. If you're going to be melodramatic, there's no better place than a theater.
Let me see. Is it a real baby?
Of course it's real, idiot. Didn't you hear it squall?
Hush. Going to sleep. Look. There's a note pinned to the blanket.
Read it aloud.
To the kind-hearted person who finds my baby, I can take care of him no longer. Be good to him and raise him to be a noble man. He's a child of love. That's all.
That's enough.
Child of love, eh? Yes, we know.
It's a good recommendation. At least he was loved. Hush. He's almost asleep. Once he's sound asleep, I'll take him home with me. Very quiet on me. Perhaps a lullaby would help. I'll play some music.
You must remember, get some milk on the way home, Columbine. He'll be hungry as the devil when he wakes up.
You can sleep in my bed if you like, Columbine. I can sleep anywhere.
Tomorrow, I'll turn some cartwheels for him. Do you think he'll like that, Columbine?
Sure he will. Hush. He's asleep.
It's our play.
What play?
Our Christmas play. It's the only Christmas play there is. The miracle play. And none of us thought of it.
I wonder who did.
Listen.
amazing breakfast we've had, and I know we all appreciate her so much. And we actually have a little something that we got for her today, so I take it to you.